Are you ready to unlock your full potential? Motivational speaker, the comeback coach, and goal crusher Joe Rivera brings you inspiring leaders, incredible stories, and valuable lessons on how you can change, grow, and reforge your life. Now, here's your host, Joe Rivera.
What's up? What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Reforge Your Life Show. I'm your host, Joe Rivera, and here at the Reforge Your Life Show, we like to show you that the comeback is more than possible. And man, y'all are gonna love this guest comeback. He's a performance coach, a professional speaker, Norberto Troncoso. Welcome to the show, brother.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, man, I'm grateful that you're here, bro. I'm grateful that we're able to share this platform together and create impact together, bro. Let's do it, man. And I heard you speak on stage. I heard your story, bro, and there's no way I could tell it anywhere close as good as you can. Nobody in the world can. So I'd love for you to share your story with the audience and let them know a little bit more about you, bro.
Of course. So again, for those that don't know me, my name is Norberto. I hail from Highbridge in the Bronx in New York. So I've been somebody. Baby. Yes, sir. So the thing is, like, I know that I'm usually a very bubbly personality. I am a speech and debate coach for a school in New York, in the Bronx specifically. I am a public speaking and performance coach. I love pulling stuff out of people, energy, like we have so much potential. And it's just something where it's like, why don't we use it? So this has been something that's on me because, again, for the longest time, the reason why I'm so pressed on it, pushing on it with such urgency is because of the fact, and similar to when you heard me, Joe, I almost didn't see today. I mean, it was something that was much more of a blessing than I would consider. I mean, I'm 29. So I'm thinking, okay, I mean, you at least have like a trial run of life until 40. But from where I'm coming from, I didn't even know if I was going to make 17. And seeing what happened, gang life, and even though I wasn't myself in a gang, I have a lot of friends that were really trying to push me in that well. So through the arts and through debate, I just didn't really mess with that stuff. So I'm thinking everything is going to be fine. I'm just going to do this, go to college, and move on about my life. But in 2018, I started getting these migraines, these headaches, and they were pretty consistent. And I don't get headaches. Everybody that knows me knows I do not get migraines. So my supervisor was like, "Hey, just go to sleep." We were competing at Yale University with the kids, and she's like, take a nap. And I'm a workaholic. I don't believe in naps. If we grind it, we grind it. I'll tough it out. But she's like, no, this is an order. So I'm like, fine, fair. So I went to bed and I tried to sleep it off, but it was something that was very persistent over the weeks. And then I went to the doctors, which again, as a Latin male, we just don't like doctors. My dad was like, avoid them. But I felt led to go there. And the doctor told me, no, everything is fine. Just make sure that you take Tylenol, and I'll see you in 2 weeks. A week and a half into that, I'm like, I don't agree with you. So I went to the emergency room. They did a CT scan after I pushed them to do so because it was like, you seem fine. And they caught the brain tumor at that point. So for me at, 2018, that was 7 years ago from December. So at 23 to be told, hey, you have a cancerous brain tumor, it was something for me I couldn't really grasp. So I was kind of joking around through it. I'm like, okay, copy. So, what do I need? Do I need to take Motrin? How does that work? And they're like, no, you need to operate today, at 4 a.m. I'm like, well, I have work in the morning. And they're like, yeah, if you don't do that, you'll be dead within the week. And I was stumped because I didn't know how to respond to that. So I hit up my supervisor, hit up some of my students that were just asking for some help over the weekend. This happened on a Thursday. And I told him, hey, I'm going to be a little late. Because here I'm thinking, Joe, these surgeries, an hour, maybe 2 hours, like they're operating on my head, and then I'll be ready for lunch. But no, I again, very deluded into thinking that this was going to be very easy fix for me. And what ended up happening was I went under and I ended up slipping into a coma. I was medically dead for about 11 minutes. And then they brought me back, but I was still in a coma for like another week to wake up near Christmas and have like functions of myself not working. I couldn't move. I couldn't eat. I could barely breathe. And again, this is somebody who's a 23-year-old. I'm very not the most athletic person on the planet, but I'm pretty healthy. So it was just something where when the doctors are telling me every single time, your blood's good, your cholesterol's good, all this stuff is good, but you're not good when it comes to what actually matters, it really, really hit me on the nail about what does it look like moving forward. Yeah. So it was definitely something that I realized I needed to do some things. And again, as a workaholic, like I'm here still trying to like figure out ways to like email, text, chat, work, do. And I mean, several people that are like either my supervisors or my boss's supervisor was like, hey, just lay off it, like just stop. And the idea of stop, the rhythm of rest was something that I could not grasp until I was forced to do so. So it really was an important thing for me to just be able to like take it step by step. I ended up going into radiation, which I affectionately call baby chemo, and went through those navigations, lost some hair, but hey, hair. And then literally after that, I went through those rounds, wheelchair. I was so thankful to be off the bed after like a month, but I ended up finishing off around a couple of months later in remission. So I was thankful that I was in remission for this. And I still kind of don't understand or grasp the fullness of what it means to be in remission when I've seen so many people that are probably healthier than me that are in the grave from this thing. Sometimes some things that are more minor than what I had. So the shift for me has been, okay, we don't have time left. We cannot exhaust the time that really could be as limited, as fleeting as a second. You could be dead tomorrow. You could be gone in an hour. Like, we really don't know. So this has been my goal, my ambition, my life, my heart, to just go after people in such a way where they understand you have way more potential than you have. You're better than you think. And you don't have as much time as you think you do. So now what do we do with that? So that's been my main goal ambitiously. I affectionately work with Hood Kids. They're my life with that. And the main thing is like, hey, if you got grit, doesn't matter. You have to gun after it. So my whole thing has always been, I'm not really concerned with whether it's scary. I'm not concerned with whether it's something that brings you trepidation. If you have second guesses, if you don't feel like it, we don't have time left. So you have to maximize. So that's basically where I'm at.
Man, I love that, man. And yeah, listen, man, we're not promised tomorrow, right? We got to make what we got today and live our fullest and really do what we could do to make sure we're the best version of ourselves, unlocking our fullest potential and moving the needle forward in our life. Man, there's a lot to unpack there in your story, man. Thank you for sharing that, bro. I want to go back to, when you're told that you have this brain tumor and that you're going to have surgery. What did that do to your thinking, to your mind in that moment? Not where you are today and you're thinking, but in that moment, I want to go back there for the audience.
Yeah, no. I didn't believe it. I think there was obviously, denial, but I truly didn't believe it. Like all my life, anything that would be a scrape, a ding, a headache, a scrape, like anything there, I wouldn't really be cared. Like I wouldn't worry so much about it because at the end of the day, things heal. I'm going to bounce back. And I've always been known as the kid that bounces back from this type of stuff. So I didn't think anything of it. I probably underplayed it. I trivialized it as just something like, okay, I get a surgery. It's going to be more annoying than like a shot, but it should be fine.
So what about when it did become real? When you did realize that, oh shit, man, I gotta go in for fucking surgery, for a brain tumor. They're gonna open up my head. What was that like?
I did not have confidence in the people that were on my team. I'll be honest with you. I was like, okay, this is actually a thing. And I'm here thinking, they're going to make one misstep and they're going to kill me. So I'm like, and for me, usually I don't want to step into those spaces, those arenas of like, I'm having to deal with this because I have a hard time at times trusting others, even if like they're way smarter than me and they've been doing this for a long time. So when the doctor's like, I'm going to do this, that, for me, I'm like, what can we do so that you don't have to do that? That seems very invasive. So for me, I was just kind of sitting there like, bro, I don't even know if I'm going to make it past the surgery the way they're describing it.
Yeah, man, that must have been some scary shit to be going in for surgery and not have faith on the team that's bringing you in to do that work. So what did you do as far as, what'd you lean into at that moment? You leaned into the faith?
Yeah. God has been the only real constant in my life. And I'm like, I pray to Jesus. And I know people sometimes think that I joke a little bit with this. Or maybe they just think that my faith is a bit hollow because of the fact that I have so much of it. So they're like, it can't be rooted in anything, right? But that's all I had. That's all I had. That's all I have still. It is something where all you can really do is like, Jesus, take the wheel. And I really feel like we're like downplaying that actual sentence. Jesus, take the wheel. I know I can probably drive, but that doesn't mean that I know where I should be going. So I just left it in his hands, and that's all I really could do. In fact, it was so much so that my girlfriend at the time was so worried and scared. And I told her these exact words. Like, I wouldn't worry, breathe. It's going to be fine. Because whether or not I wake up on the other side of this operation, table, or on the other side of eternity, I still won. So I can't, and that's me saying that, still not knowing completely, Joe, but knowing enough that I have to put my trust in him because there's no other way.
Amen, brother. Amen. When something happens, when we let go and let God, I always say it, man, it's the doors that start opening, the mountains that start moving. And it's a blessing, man, when you could let him take control the way he wants to be in control, man. So let's fast forward over to the part of is after the operation. You got through, you survived, you're alive. There's a whole lot of shit that's got to go on at that moment. A lot of change that has to occur. A lot of challenges that you've had to probably face through this journey of recovering from that brain surgery and going back out into the world. Can you let us into that world and elaborate on that a little bit?
Yeah. So when I woke up from the coma, I wish I didn't. There were definitely some moments where I'm like, bro, like I'm here, and then I see you, and I see you with people. I've gone to the cancer ward, and over the time that I've been dealing with this, people that I made friends with died. Like, we're talking like a good 80%. Like, it wasn't even. So for me, I woke up and I couldn't really move. And I was told that it's possible I may never eat again. It's possible that I may never move again. So these things became realities for me, and I had to really struggle with this. My mind was racing, but I couldn't move. So it's definitely something where I really struggled through that in those months. And even as I started to gain faculties back, it took me about a month and a half to start speaking again because I couldn't talk. I couldn't start eating until 2 weeks after that. And then I went to wheelchair from there, and I didn't even go on a cane until 2 months from there. I didn't start walking without the cane until like a year or two after that. Like, a lot of things, every single stage of realizing they have to take things slowly was not enjoyable. It was necessary, but necessary isn't always nice. So I really didn't know much about that. All that I could do, because everyone kept asking me, what do you do? How do you move? How are you? I'm scared. They're scared, not me. And that's the thing. Is sometimes I feel like you can't really express the fear in the moment because everyone always expects you to be that strong tower. But strong towers, if they're old, they do typically have some cracks and some holes in them. So for how long can you be such a strong tower until you start cracking because you haven't gone through maintenance? And for me, I felt that way. I felt like, okay, like I'm telling everybody it's going to be okay. We're going to make it through this. We got this. But I haven't been able to just simply just sit and sit with the fact that, like, hey, I don't know. Am I going to make it out of that? Like, even as I was telling my girl this thing, I was like, okay, I'm heading into the surgery. They can put the anesthesia in. And I'm like, well, here we go. Like, just because I have no other option. But even in the radiation, everything just became kind of like why do I keep having to do this? And I sometimes really wonder, was this for a purpose and was this beneficial? And if I could be able to share or help anybody with that reality, what does it mean to truly bounce back? Because I looked like a shell that was ghostly, lost like 100 and something pounds in one shot. Like, I look like a skeleton.
And this is after the surgery or before?
Yes, this was after the surgery.
Yeah.
This was February 2019.
Okay.
So it was definitely something where, like, how do I do what I can to get back into eating and being consistent and showing people it's okay and we're gonna make it through this. Because another thing about that.
What's going through your mind when you are that shell of yourself? Talk to us about, like, what the doubts look like, what the story you were telling yourself in that moment of, damn, why do I keep going through this?
The doubts were, you're never going to bounce back from this. You're never going to be able to overcome. This is kind of your new normal. And the thing about it is, my mind, and I say this to a lot of people, I'm faith-filled to a fault. Meaning, I can't not believe it's going to get better. Whether or not I hate it right now. So in the moments, my thoughts were, this sucks. Why can't I get this right? I can't even hold a pencil. Like, that took, like, writing a paragraph. I remember that OT session in February, March, that the writing of a paragraph took me 31 minutes. Yeah. And it was one of those things where I used to bullet through this stuff. I used to be able to do all this stuff. Is it over for me? anything that I wanted to do, aspire and do at life. And to have it just ripped from you at 23 was really present in my head.
Yeah.
And the only thing I could really believe in my soul is that it will get better. But the thing that sits in my head is, well, how? And I didn't get an answer on that one.
Yeah. The how never gives the answer, right? Because that's the one that we want to remove. So where did you go from there?
So I went from the surgery. I went in ICU. The surgery was divided into two stages because the first one, I went into the coma and they were essentially about to kill me because of the fact that like they couldn't remove the tumor. They only got 5% of the way through. So they sent me to a acute rehab center to get strong enough for the second surgery because I was weak, feeble, it wasn't working. So I did the second surgery. I went into an ICU again, and then I went to like a regular rehab to start really strengthening myself. And after that, I was told that I had to be in the hospital for several more months, or I could be home but be like sent to the hospital every day. So I chose that route.
What are they telling you that your chances are of getting back to what you were?
Slim. Like the first one, the survival rate from my surgery was 62%. That dropped to 51. And then the chances of me being able to walk and do again, they didn't give me percentages at that time. They said that you could go back to an operatable state of like being able to like move and function probably within 5 to 7 years. So to think about the fact that I would be in a wheelchair for 5 to 7 more years was something that I, in the pit of my soul, I couldn't do.
Yeah. Were you like at one point in that moment when they're telling you that, was there a point where your faith wavered and you felt like, fuck, I don't know if I can do this shit?
Yes. I definitely, I was just kind of like, man, I don't even know. And it's always bad, Joe, because honestly, you know, people can be like, no, it's going to be okay. And I'm like, but you don't know what I'm going through. Like, you're just there. And I'm like, let me just grapple with this or something. Like, leave me alone. It even was one night I was at the rehab and people were coming in to like do well wishes or whatever. And I just told the doctors, bro, just send everybody home. Like, I can't at like 11 a.m. Like, yeah, we're ready for your physical therapy. I'm like, I'm not going today. I just had a day where I'm not doing anything. I can't. I can't. And again, it was just in my mind. I'm like, I just don't want to do this anymore. Like, can I just go back to before this all happened? Let's just skip cancer and just, you know, go about our business. But no. And honestly, there's a verse in the Bible that's, you know, very was very clear to me at that time, and it's when Paul has a thorn on his side and he asks the Lord to remove it 3 times, but he doesn't. And I'm just like, dude, it's a thorn. Like, it's not a ship. It's not like it's not that big of a deal, but it's annoying me. The problem for me, can you please get rid of it? So for me, it's the same thing. It's like, can you get rid of this cancer? Can you get rid of this lack of mobility? Can you get rid of this thing of, I haven't jumped in half a decade. I have not jumped. I have not run in half a decade. Like, and I used to love those things. I'm like, are you telling me I can never do this again, or that it's going to take years, like years? It doesn't seem like it's difficult for you to remove it, God, but it's just, I was just met with silence.
Yeah. Oh man, that's real, man. Because there's times where we're going through these challenges in life, and I'm a believer also, and you know, I believe that whether I believe in the higher source. I call it God. I believe in Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior. But whatever you believe, God, the universe, the infinite intelligence, realizing that that source is going to help you to be able to overcome your most difficult challenges, to be able to unlock your fullest potential, I believe is vital for success. But it don't work like, you say the prayer and you ask for that your creator to just remove this difficult situation from your life, and all of a sudden it's removed. It's on your creator's time. It's also, I believe that my creator wants to see that I'm gonna put in the work too, and then co-create the miracle with me. That's how I had to overcome substance abuse. It didn't just happen where I said a prayer and God said, all right, now you know what? Boom, you're removed from active substance abuse. You're not addicted anymore. I had to put in the work. I had to change the person I am. I had to peel back the onion and take stock of who I am. I had to be able to do that inner work and change my identity. And that's when I started to see things change, when the mindset changed and the paradigm shifted. So when your change started to occur and the transformation started to occur for you, what did that look like? What was that moment like?
I mean, it happened after remission. I thought remission was this beautiful thing where I'm like, okay, cool. I don't have cancer anymore, so I should just start moving and doing. I got home, and I haven't been home in almost a year. And
This is what you
I had, this is still 2019. This is July, and I'm like, okay, but there are bills. And there's rent. Like, it's not like rent just stopped when I got into a coma. My landlord just liked me, so he kind of figured it out and stuff. And my one of my coaches, he set up a GoFundMe for me, so it really did help. I really am appreciative of him for that. But again, once I come home, I have to face the reality not full. Like, I'm not how I was before. So it's like, okay, I have to go do this, but I have a wheelchair. I have to go do this, but like I can't jump to get it like I used to. So it was a lot to really realize that I do have to be the one to do this. And this is kind of like where I struggled with like the whole, you can't have a victim mentality, but I am a victim. So like, what does that even mean? Like, and no one can tell me nothing because of the fact that like, they're like, oh, they're like, yeesh, with what I've been through. So I just learned I had to do it. I had to figure it out. I started like working on some like programs because like I wasn't a full-time employee of anything, so I just did some like independent contractor work, and I did what I could to keep myself afloat because that's all I could do. And I did that. I literally like drove the car on E with the wheels falling off until COVID, which is what, 7 months later.
Right.
It was like, and then COVID hit. And I'm like, Lord, just take us now. Like, at this point, why are we still here? And I told myself, okay, I can't do this. I can't do this whole, I'm going to walk with a cane and I have a mask, and I'm not doing that. So I told myself, I'm going to do this whole thing caneless. If I die, I die, but I'm doing it this way. So I think March 13 or 15 of 2020, from that point on, I was not doing a cane anymore. So it was a struggle because I realized my balance was not at all what I thought it was. But after a while, I was walking okay, and I think that's where the whole mindset that I have is, you got to do it scared. you got to do it unstable, but you got to do something. Cause if you just think about it, you never did it. So it's like, that's what I would say. Like, I don't know if the wheelchair was going to come back. I don't know if I was going to make it past COVID. My doctor who operated on me of the tumor died that first month of COVID.
Yeah.
So that news was like, I didn't even know what to say. Like, a lot of people on the team that operated on me are no longer with us. And it's like, what am I going to do? Like, I'm just going to be like, it's okay. I'm immunocompromised. It's fine for this virus to take me now, bro. I can't do that. So I have to persevere past that while I'm still recovering and also trying to figure out how can I even financially do this? Because I didn't really have much of a break. Like, it was just like, I remission. A couple of months later, boom, COVID. I'm like, okay.
And so you decided, you know what? I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. I'm not walking around with this cane anymore. I'm not living in this victim mentality. I'm not going to be a victim of my circumstances and conditions. I'm going to go and control my destiny. You throw the cane away and you start slowly walking again.
Yes.
Walk us through what happens after that. Because now it's also about, being able to go and provide again and being able to make a living again and use your brain in a capacity that you haven't been using it over the past few months because of what you've gone through. So what does that look like?
So honestly, from that point, like, we were inside. I was there with my wife, and we were just buying a lot of Uber Eats because I could use the excuse that, like, I can't move like that, and also I'm probably gonna. She thought more than me that I would die if I came into contact with somebody at the store. So I'm like, okay, fine. But again, I don't have a full-time job, so it was only a matter of time before we really couldn't do much. So between the remote work, I did what I could to do what I had to do. So if it came down to okay, I need to pay this bill, I'm going to do everything I can to get that bill taken care of. And even my mother was somebody, and I love her to death. My mother was a strong believer of, hey, sometimes you need to pull back if things are too much. And I pushed her and said, no, that's when you need to step on the gas. Like, if this is something that I need to take care of and it's too much, then I got to gun after it further because I'm going to get it. Yeah. So when it comes to being able to pay the rent, I got back to being, at day with the rent. When it came to being able to buy things right there, being able to take care of certain medical expenses, have a little bit of a cushion. Then my wife was pregnant with my son. So that's when I kind of made the shift to doing full-time employment. But I'm like, I only really have a month to do this because COVID is still making things very difficult. So I went into the interview, ironically got the job within 24 hours, and then just kind of started working in that space of operations and being able to also help with the public speaking group because I was part-time with speech and debate. So it was a lot of pouring into that, taking in clients. I was consulting with people from Stanford University, a lot of whatever I could offer, because at the end of the day, whatever I have, if I have to do this, I'm dying empty. I'm going to give it all I got because at the end of the day, all I have is all I have. And it's a great thing to see things slowly pick up and slowly build up. And I'll be honest, it's definitely a miracle because my doctor pressed upon me that I should just be on disability. She's just like, you need to do that.
Bro, it's not that it's a miracle. Fuck that. You're the miracle, brother. God put his hand over you and said, nah, man, I got bigger plans for you, bro. It ain't time yet. Your time's not to go. Your time's not to be, on that victim role. My plan for you is not to have you, be paralyzed in a wheelchair, not being able to move. I got a bigger plan for you. I'm going to create impact with you, man. So congratulations, bro. I'm grateful that God saved your life and had bigger plans for you and helped you see that vision. And now you're living out that vision, which I want to get into in a minute, what you're doing now and all that other good stuff. But I want to touch for a minute on, when we go through these challenges in life, there's stories that we tell ourselves. There's, belief systems that are built in us. What was the old belief system that the limited beliefs that you had to crack through to overcome these challenges, to throw that cane away? And then what are the core values? Because I believe once we crack through that old belief system, we uncover these core values that we live by, that are always in us, but we become aligned with them and utilize them to overcome challenges that come our way in the future. Because challenges are going to come up. Limited beliefs are going to keep popping up in our life. So what was the old belief system, and then what are the core values that you live by now? A couple of them.
So the old belief that I had, especially after I got out of the hospital, was it's okay for me to not give it my all because there's a reason. I have scars. They tell stories. So I can keep it simple and I can kind of submit myself to what does it mean to just simply be okay. I'm a cancer patient. I'm a person that has disabilities. I struggle. That's normal. That's okay. I've already survived this. So it doesn't matter for me to do much more than that. So I had to get rid of that. I had to get rid of that mindset and just say, no, I have to put the pedal to the metal. I have to give it my all. I'm not competing against somebody. I'm not competing against other people with disabilities. I'm not even competing with other people. I'm competing with myself. And I told myself, I'm going to do as much as I possibly can. I'm going to give it my all. So my core value is rooted in I'm doing it anyway. I'm tired. I'm doing it anyway. I'm scared. I'm doing it anyway. I'm struggling. I'm doing it anyway. I'm disabled. I'm doing it anyway. You will never walk again. Over my dead body, I'm doing it anyway. So I'm not doing it that way. I'm doing it anyway. I'm doing it scared. I'm doing it frightened. I'm doing it disabled. I'm doing it in any way, shape, or form. So it sounds very simple because I was just like, am I just becoming Nike again? But that's really what I thought when I was really like, it can't just be that, right? But I'm like, it's crazy how people just don't decide to just go at it. And that's just my core value is in everything I can, in emotional intelligence, with my family, with my students, with my my clients, with my coaches. Like I can't give you the bare minimum. I can't even give you the standard. Like I have to give you a lot. And it's just something where I have to be the type of person that's going in there dying empty because I've already poured out my purpose and calling over it all. Ooh, and it cannot be rooted in or dependent on what I've been through. It's simply a marker. It's a memory that is representative of a miracle for what I have to do to move. And that for me is just something that I can't steer away from.
Man, I love that. I'm doing it anyway is such a dope mentality to have and overcome those old beliefs and realize that you can do anything you put your mind to. You just got to have the faith, got to believe in yourself. You got to believe in some sort of higher source, whether you call it God, the universe, infinite intelligence, whatever you believe, and believe that together you could co-create your life to do anything. Because remember, man, you're a spiritual being living a human experience. Your creator didn't create you to be mediocre. He created you so that you could be the best version of yourself. And it's important to be aligned with your values in life to help you overcome those challenges so that you could be the best version of yourself, so that you could walk and live in your purpose, so that you could be able to create success on your own terms. Norberto, man, I'd love for you to tell the audience, what it is you're doing now and where they can find you, bro.
Of course. Right now, I am coaching in public speaking and performance advocacy. We go on worldwide because I realize there's such a deficiency in being able to just do it. Oh, I'm doing it till the wheels fall off, and they're falling off on my terms. So I think that's really what we're doing, is just being able to add value. Right now, I am a speech and debate coach for a charter network in New York. I am also teaching performance as well, and just working in the best way possible, just being able to add as much value as possible and collaborate and connect. And it's just always a pleasure to change lives. And I'm thankful it's easy. And where people can find me, right now, you can find me on troncosoventures.com. And also, they can find me anywhere by reaching out. I'd love to be able to provide any value possible and collaborate because, hey, we can change the world. It literally just takes a second.
That's right, man. That's right. Change makers, world change makers here, man. And it's all about being able to create impact out there. And all that information from Norberto is going to be in the show notes. Norberto, bro, there's a few questions that I ask all my guests. The first is, what does the word purpose mean to you?
Purpose is your identity. Purpose is the thing you've been that is you. And what does it mean for you to operate? Because it's purpose, it's just simply what you've been rooted to do. So what does it mean for you to have your want, your need, the thing that drives you, the thing that wakes you up, your passion? What makes you wake up with happiness and fall asleep with content? That's purpose to me in a nutshell.
Fall asleep with happiness and wake up with content. Love that, bro. Love that. And when you hear the word reforge, what comes to mind?
I always focus on because to forge and build, to build something and really you take your time with it. I think about when, God created humans out of dirt. And I really think about what does it mean to craft something, breathe life, to truly create something and then go with it. And a lot of times, because life happens, again, with what I've been going through and even with what's happened, you think that because you've been broken, you're done. Well, what does it mean for you to reforge? What does it mean for you to try again? What does it mean for you to do it again? To really go after it and reconstruct. And sometimes even thinking about those bowls in Japanese culture, that when they're shattered, they're laced with gold so that they have higher value than they did the first time. Sometimes reforging is taking what you've always been, but building a better you so that you can truly be the best you can be. So it really is just for rebuilding, redoing, because it's not a period, it's a comma, and we're just going to keep going.
Wow, I love that, man. It's not a period, it's a comma. We're going to just keep going, man. Damn, drop the bomb right there, boy. So there's somebody out there right now who's listening to the episode, watching the episode, and looking to reforge their life, whether it's in their business, their finances, their health, their relationship, and they don't have the tool. They don't have the know-how. And what's one piece of advice that you could give them to reforge their life?
Stop thinking you don't have the tool. It's not material, it's mindset. Anything that you are capable of, you could easily create. the only thing that is going to stop you from being you is you. Because God already wrote it out for you to be phenomenal. You just have to step up and do it. And whether you do or not is completely up to you.
That's right. That's right, man. You're your biggest enemy. You're your biggest roadblock. You have it within you to overcome your character defects. That wall that you're putting up, you could break it down. So, Norberto, what's one thing that the audience doesn't know about you that you enjoy doing for fun?
I like writing raps. I love the whole idea of being a wordsmith. And I like battle rapping some of my students because they think they got it, but I'm like, bro, like I will absolutely smoke you. And I just find joy in it because I'm just like being able to play around with the words. It's cool.
You want to give us a little treat?
I mean,
I put you too much on the spot on that one. We can leave
yeah.
Yeah, we'll leave that.
I'll come through with a verse. I got you.
My team's gonna edit that for us. All right, bro, man. So listen, man. I really appreciate you coming through on the show, man. I knew that you were gonna drop some knowledge, some fire, and you did exactly that, bro. I'm blessed to be able to call you a friend, and I'm grateful that we're able to share this platform together and be able to create impact together because that's what it's all about, brother.
Amen. And thank you so much for having me, Joe.
No doubt, man. And for all the listeners and viewers out there, I'm going to tell y'all what I always say, man. Thank y'all for listening. Thank y'all for watching. And please don't forget, LFSS. Like, follow, subscribe, and most importantly, share the episode. Because there's somebody out there right now who's not listening to the episode, who's not watching it, and they're looking to reforge their life. And they don't know how. And this episode or past episodes that help save their life, save their business, save their finances, save their health. But don't forget, man, share the episode. Stay productive, stay profitable, and stay blessed, y'all.
You've been listening to Reforge Your Life with your host, Joe Rivera. Make sure to subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. To learn more about Joe Rivera and how he can help you or your organization reforge your life and regain your place at the top, head on over to withjoerivera.com and follow Joe on all social platforms. The Reforge Your Life podcast was produced by Thrive Loud Productions. Thanks for listening.